Hi everybody, welcome to this video tutorial on how we can go about analysing persuasive texts. So we've talked about this in class a bit. I'm just putting this back together as a bit of a reminder and a revised edition, I suppose. So hopefully this helps out. Now, step one, as we know, identify what the issue is, who the author is, and what their contention is. So basically, you take the general issue that your text is engaging with. For example, one of the things we did in class, the general issue was the cost of technology in Australia. That's a current issue, and there's been a bit about it in the news recently. You identify who the author is and what credentials they have, if they have any. For example, if the author of that article was somebody who worked for, I don't know, the government in talking about, and they're an expert on taxation, they would have some credibility and authority to write about this. However, it's just some lady who enjoys iPhones. Next thing, we identify what the author's contention is related to the general issue they are engaging with. So, I've written an example there about the abortion articles, but for the article on the iPhone technology, it would be that the lady, whose name I've forgotten, and I'm sorry for that, is contending that technology in Australia is unfairly priced compared to cost in America, and there seems to be no logical reason why. Next step, we identify the tone of our persuasive piece, how this tone is being achieved, and the intended effect of the tone on the reader. So first of all, you discuss using accurate tonal descriptors. That means our tone words. I'm just using proper language there. The various tones that the text uses at different times, because there will be different tones inferred at different times within a piece. And then also you need to discuss the overall tone of the text, because for one example we might have the author trying to sound like they're angry, but the overall tone might be that they're actually quite calm and level-headed. Next step is using specific quotations or examples from the text to justify your interpretation of the tone. So if you say that, there's evidence that at times in this text the author tries to use an angry or frustrated tone, you want to provide examples of where that comes through in the text. Just like you want to provide 3 or 4 examples that go together to justify your assessment of what the overall tone is. Next step is to discuss why these tones this or these tone or tones were chosen by the author and how they intended to affect the reader by using those specific tones. For example, a frustrated tone lets the reader feel that they're strongly feeling about this issue, whereas if you keep it level-headed, it's trying to make the reader feel like you're logical and reasonable. Step 3 is to identify the techniques being used to persuade in the piece, give examples of them, and explore the intended effect. All right. Now that includes the appeals that we learned yesterday. All right. Different types of techniques that we can talk about here are, the various range of appeals, the various language choices or styles of language that authors can use, generalization, the various types of evidence that authors can use. Pictorial support's a good one. That one's in there for you, Claire. We've also talked about rhetorical questions. We've talked about repetition. There are a lot of techniques in this video tutorial. I'm not going to spend a week explaining them all for you. That's for you to find in the PDFs I've posted on the blog. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope this has been helpful. Ed Bob out.